Hello everyone and welcome to our online class. The agenda for today is to discuss references for the final project and then also to discuss healthcare delivery. So I'm going to start with talking about the final project. So for the final project, you will need to provide a list of your sources. And this should be all of the resources, including the assigned sources that you use for your project. And I'm looking for you to present enough information that I could find it on my own and to try your best to put it into APA format, but I'm not going to be too picky about this. So the day of the project, you should either email me or bring in a hard copy of the references, and then on each slide of the project there should be like a footnote, like maybe a number that indicates where that information came from. Okay, so first thing you need to do with putting things in the right format is to figure out what type of source it is, and this determines what information should go into the reference. So for this project, you should be using a mix of things, including academic journal articles, print media articles, government websites, government reports, and think tank reports. Those are the general types. For other types of sources, you should take a look at this webpage. Well, I'll come back to that. Okay, so just to overview, we went through this a few weeks ago of the different sources. So Pew Research, Urban Institute, RAND, Kaiser, these are all think tanks. And then things like the CDC, MMWR Weekly, these are government reports, but also government websites. Okay, so once you know what type of source it is, you need to look up the format for that source. So at a minimum, you usually need to provide the authors of the piece, the date, often just the year, it depends, the title of the piece, title of the article or report, and the source. This could be the name of the journal or periodical, this could be the name of the newspaper, or it could be the think tank itself, right, or the government agency itself. Oftentimes we also need a website, a URL, but also an issue number or location. So if you look, if you can open up simultaneously this document on Sakai called APA format, and it tells you what's the format for these different types of sources. Okay, so some of the more common ones that you're going to be dealing with is an academic journal called a periodical. So you'll have the author names, the year in parentheses, the title, then the title of the periodical, so the journal itself in italics, the volume number, the issue number, and the pages. So most of these sort of have a generic and then a specific. If you're doing an article in a magazine, you're likely to have both the year and the month that it was published. This is how you would do a website. This is how you would do an online magazine. So you would add sort of a generic website. Another one that's helpful is government documents, and this is where the think tank comes in. So it's sort of for the think tank, right? If there are authors, you should put the authors' names. If they don't have author names, you could just put the organization. So sometimes you might come across just the organization. And then you put the title in italics, and you might also put a report number and a website. So here's an example of that, of something from RAND. Okay, so let's go back to this website. If you have something and you're either not sure or you think it's another type of source, this Purdue OWL website's very helpful, and it has other things, right? Maybe you looked at a film, right? Maybe you looked at like a TV broadcast, right? And this sort of tells you what information you would need in there and what the formatting should be.